Hello everybody, welcome to the Contest Round podcast. This is episode 38. Yes, we're getting close to number 40. And thank you very much for the recent support on the previous one. It was the first time that I decided to put me in the bottom corner. Obviously, just to explain if you don't know, we can't do both of us. It's, recorded by video. If Dan's internet goes out, stability of keeping a video. It's easy to do audio than video. Maybe that'll be something in the future. We'll have to see. We're available, if you don't know, on the YouTube playlist, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes podcasts. Links are always in the bios. And especially for my co-host, and that is Dan of Frontline MCOC, who you can find at www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog. Make sure that it's your homepage as you get all that fresh and tasty around the Battle Realm information on I'd say, what are you, like, couple of days basis or daily basis?
Yeah, daily basis, absolutely.
And hello, Dan.
Hey, Rich, how we doing?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Hey.
Unfortunately, every time I seem to do something, I'm chased by the problems I seem to be having with YouTube.
I know.
So prior to the podcast was just a little bit of a micro freak out from me about a response I got that wasn't great. Is it something that kind of puts me at ease for the future of me being a full-time YouTuber? No, it does not. It actually complicates matters and makes things a hell of a lot worse than it already is. But I'm gonna get through this as best I can and speak to my rep at YouTube and see if there's anything that can be done. Fingers crossed. But in any case, we've got to talk about MCOC.
Yeah, a lot going on in games. Been quite a week, and we got the very rare mid-month game version update because of all these stability issues.
Yeah, there was something that's just been dropped, like in my Discord from Kabam Frenchy on the matter, which I was surprised because I haven't seen anybody from Kabam reach into personal people's Discords and kind of like give info. He has given a blessing to kind of like just put info on, so we'll try and I'll put that on screen, and if you're seeing this on Sunday, it will be mentioned in MCOC news on the Monday. The stability issues, Dan, have you experiencing any stability issues currently?
No, honestly, I feel super guilty because I had one crash in the that 1-star punishing arena like one time, but yeah. The game's been running super smooth for me, and everyone's been complaining in my frontline chat, be like, "What's going on?" And I'm just like, "Oh, like it's working fine for me." Honestly, last month, the version last month was where I was having all the connectivity issues, and this month's been really smooth. But I realize I'm in the minority for that because there's been some real horror stories out there.
Wow, yeah, because that's the thing, isn't it? The way that everybody was kind of going, because we've had this since a new update came in. So for me, again, I'm not experiencing any issues. Kabam Frenchy has said today, I was working with a team since the release of the new update, as I was also had the crashing issue literally every 2 to 3 fights, and after a day I could not even connect to the game, but we could not identify the issue at that time. That was Thursday, 8th of October. I simply restarted my phone and was 99, and as 99% of bugs restarting fixed everything for me. This is telling me this may not be an issue with the game itself, but rather than a weird interaction with the new build version versus devices. I don't know if this is going to be fixed for everyone, but it's worth a shot. So just restarting the phone. I don't know if people have kind of like rather than rebooting the app, restarting the phone. Very unusual process. He says, I have an iPhone 7 Plus 2. Multiple colleagues had the issues, but I am unsure of their devices. But since the update, the team is working on it, gathering data logs to find the source of the issue. I don't know the progress they made though. And that's the kind of it's great to have like that level of info. Thanks to Kabam Frenchy for giving that level of detail, because I don't really see much of that on the forums. I'm sure there's answers, but not as kind of as detailed answers as that. So yeah, restart if you can to try and see if it works, but there's no guarantee, and Kabam are looking into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a pain to restart your phone, but if it clears everything up, it's definitely worth trying.
Yeah, very true. And apart from that, it's been one of these weeks, isn't it? There's not been a huge thing going on. I don't know if players are kind of got their heads down and kind of getting on with work in game, especially with Act 6 changes now live as of, well, I think it was whilst we were recording the podcast on Friday, the changes for Act 6 were going live. Have you ventured back into Act 6 yet, Dan?
I have not yet, Rich. I think that's in the cards for next weekend. I currently have 3 paths left in Variant 5.
Nice.
So I need to finish Variant 5 because obviously there is that T5 CC there, that 25%. So that's the biggest chunk of T5 CC out there for me. That's close to becoming part of my inventory. If that comes up Cosmic, then I'm pretty close. Then I'm probably somewhere around 40k Cosmic Shards out of the 45 you need.
Nice.
So then it's like, okay, then I got to look at the side quest. I've got to look at the 10% in the monthly quest, go after those, because at that point, I'm 10% away probably, or maybe if I could get some of these 2% to go my way, and then I have about half of Act 6.2 to go through the 3 chapters that everyone skipped if they could, the Mr. Sinister one, the Mordo one, and the Champion one. So that's going to be it. I'm definitely going to be pushing back into to Act 6 soon, because these Thronebreaker crystals are hitting me with the FOMO pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to be Thronebreaker, but I'm kind of thinking of like where I want to be with the grind. I just don't have with the stuff with the YouTube and me and like the other kind of like stresses that I'm having from that in life. I just don't have 10 hours that I can put to doing Abyss of Legends, nor do I have the quick revenue to do that, because I'm living in a very unsettled time. But I really would love to just go like, okay, let's buy £300 worth of units and then kind of go into it, because
go in and stream it and hopefully recoup it that way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I can't, and I wouldn't ever put that on like my subscribers, followers, community to do. Everyone's been very generous in helping out with the current situation, especially supporting Rich's realm. And if you can't financially support, I'm not kind of like, I don't need you to do it to a point to feel you need to do it to kind of like keep me alive. It's just a case of following stuff, viewing stuff. It does help out on other platforms.
It all adds up. Yeah, it all adds up, and it's amazing how the simple things, even leaving a comment or hitting the like button, can just kind of cheer you up when you look at the analytics.
Yeah, because according to YouTube, there's been some discrepancies with ad impressions, which I've been told about just before starting the podcast, which is nice when they kind of say there's been invalid impressions, which basically means that's one of many reasons they've decided to go. They're refunding the advertisers, because it's one of these weird things we were talking about. The amount of ad impressions I had on my channel and the views I had on the channel on September were some of the largest I've ever had. And even like people were saying, oh yeah, YouTube are running double adverts in case it's double skippable adverts. But for some reason now it's the case I'm affected. And like, it's just so annoying. I've got to stop. Right? The problem is that I've been given this stuff straight before recording the podcast, and it's like it's boiled my blood.
I know, Rich.
One thing that Kabam have done with these Hades quests, these kind of the side quests, is the kind of the path ones, the key unlockables. It looks like it's going to be in the latter weeks for things like the legendary, where you pick up the tier 2 alphas. Because so far in the Kingpin one and the Mojo one, no tier 2 alpha.
Interesting. I have been slacking on the Hades invasion so hard. I've been just auto fighting some limbo quests to kind of stock up some keys and some souls. And I figure I'm gonna end up smashing it out at the end of the month. But You know what's been really a big bone of contention that I've seen a lot lately and that people have been asking me about is the 10% Cavalier 10% T5CC Cavalier objective and how exactly that is achieved. And we've been my frontline chat has actually been super helpful. I don't know if you have received the same complaints, but people have been really confused about like how exactly you achieve this.
Yeah, I did try and do a video on it, but it's still I think led to further confusion. And I'll go into mine just quickly. That I played about with stuff. I think I forgot to put it in the edit of the video, but I tried a 565 Medusa. I utilized Aunt May for some of this stuff, by the way. And I don't know if like Kabam said do or don't. I think they said don't. But when I kind of like thought I knew what I was doing with it, it turned out wrong. But when I went to Aunt May and decided to go, right, let's try two things. Number one, a 565 Medusa with nothing in the team, signature 130. And I think it churned out like a 900 and something, 9,600. And then I decided like, okay, well I got enough room I thought I'd just go with that. Fine, got it, thumbs up. But when I decided to do it with, I think it was a Black Bolt and something else. I think the team rating was good, or no, it was bad. I can't remember. I all I know is I tried to on the Prestige keep it to 10k. Yep.
Well, yeah, because basically what we've found is that it's Prestige plus synergies plus boosts.
Right.
So not masteries, but if you boost, that counts.
Yes.
Against you.
I had someone in my stream last night who said about that.
Yeah. So it's tricky because it's kind of annoying, right? Because if you are a less knowledgeable player, you're going to look at that team rating in game and think that it's 10k there, but it's not, right? So if you try to make that meet 10k, you're actually going in severely underpowered because your masteries are counting against you when your masteries don't count against you for the objective. But there's no good way to there's no good way to do it because even the prestige calculator is like, all right, now I've still got to do the math because the like Aunt May, like that's giving you an average prestige. Like you still have to do those calculations for yourself, and then how do you figure in the synergies, and then you have to know about the boost things. Like this was never explained to anybody. Like it's really frustrating people, and I'm having people message me and they're like, Dan, like what is the deal? Because like I was burning items and then it didn't count, you know, for players that are kind of on the edge, that are just Cavalier, and this T5CC is a big deal for them. You know, they understand they might have to spend some items for it, but if they spend some items and it doesn't count, and they legit thought they were doing the right thing based on what people told them, which was team prestige, but that's not the whole story. Like that just leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah. I think a few people have come to my. I think they've had a couple of people last night that were kind of asking that question about the process, and I think the best thing I said to him was just like, if you can't do it with one's 565, then it's a tough one to balance the equations on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good challenge. It's just it was not explained.
Yeah, I think
and that's the biggest problem. It's not explained. Like if you have a challenge like this that depends on team rating, it should be something you can see in game.
Yeah, and that should be more of the number you see at the top where it says I'm just gonna throw up an example. If you go into I don't know any quest and it comes up the total on the right says recommended and whatnot. You put in one champion, it will say. Like I've put in Dr. Doom for the purpose of the podcast, and it was going to come up with 15,490. Oh god, that's too much. And then going like, right, well, I guess I've got to go down to something that's definitely 10k, which will be a rank 4 5-star, and that will be under the 10k margin, or something as you said, that it just explains the situation a bit more thoroughly.
Yeah, I mean, at least last month. You knew if you were bringing in all 4 stars or not.
Yeah.
you had no doubt when you started the quest whether or not you had brought the right team. I feel a lot of people are very uncomfortable with this quest, and of course we're coming off Mutant Treasure Island, which is probably going to go down as the most beloved side quest since Gwenpool goes to the movies, which Gwenpool herself pretty much noted in the quest dialogue this month. So you've got a confusing quest that had a rocky start and an unclear explanation to the most valuable reward in the quest. So that's Hades Invasions. I'm not going over so well right now, unfortunately.
No, you're so right. Even like some of my favorites were Negative Zones. I liked the one.
Oh, I like Negative Zones. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of good stuff for free. There's also what was it called? Last year we had the Doom and Mr. Fantastic Invasions.
Oh, those were juicy.
Yeah, there was. I remember we had to complain about them a little bit.
We did. We did have to point out that those rewards were a little bit lacking the first time, because, and remember, that was like a 3-path. I'm pretty sure that was a 3-path one. So you get like the exploration and then kind of nothing, and then completion, pretty much nothing, and then exploration. So it's like, all right, like if you want us to do all those fights, like you gotta make it worth it. if there's going to be one path that really doesn't have anything.
That's true. Well, it's been one of these weeks that's progressing towards the next 2 months, which is what we think is going to be the future with, say, Thronebreaker Deals. And I know that's been a very vocal subject over on.
That was a big forum topic, wasn't it? This week?
They had
petition worthy. Don't you love it when they break out the petitions, Rich?
It's super serious when Kabam Mike has to close the thread.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he closed it in the end. And it's not like I don't think that was done in like a disrespectful way. I think that was just they closed it as they felt that they got some, the information required to kind of go, right, well, this is what players are thinking. Or this is because the thing is, I don't know. I'm happy for there to be a Thronebreaker deal, regardless if I get it by then or not.
Yeah.
There's going to be some big differences, isn't it? From someone who's just literally got Cavalier, say the week before, month before, 2 months, 3 months. Even I'd say if you have become Cavalier as the 1st of January. I'm just trying to think of the timeline. When did Cavalier come in? It was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last 6.1. So it's been a while. Yeah, I forget. When did in the before times when 6.1 was released?
Yeah. Man, yeah. I think it was 2019. I want to say
it was March.
March 2019, yeah.
March 13th, yeah.
I even think that if you were Cavalier as of January this year, you probably get if you've fresh become Cavalier, you again might have a very different take on where you are. Because I know it's great to say and we did talk about this before, about the idea of going, oh great, okay, great, you're Cavalier and you're Cavalier more quickly than others, but you will be lacking in something of the amount of 5 stars I've been able to produce. Yes, I've spent money, but there's also going to be people that don't spend. Look at Brian Grant, who's been in top alliances. He's finished top in Alliance Wars and Alliance War Seasons, done a lot of the content, done 1 or 2 rounds of Abyss of Legends, and he's free to play, but he's been playing since the game pretty much started. So again, it just goes down to what he's acquired as what would be a fresh Cavalier versus what someone who has literally just done a single pass and of stuff with a completion aspect and has not accumulated much more than a year or 2 years playing the game.
Yeah, I think with the Thronebreaker argument and the deals, like they're putting the title in so that they can structure Thronebreaker Deals. Like that's what they've always done.
Yeah,
they pretty much had to do that because otherwise they were giving the beginning players too much or stuff that they didn't need. Right? Like they knew they needed to draw that delineation. So it seems obvious whether or not they do it on Cyber Monday or not. Eventually, there's going to be a difference between Cavalier and Thronebreaker deals. I would just say, if you're a Cavalier and you're not Thronebreaker yet, like, be honest. Like, are you 100% Act 6? Have you done Abyss? Because if you haven't, like, there is a big difference between you and where, like, Legacy and Karate Mike and Brian Grant are at. So, like, just be honest that there are people ahead of you, and that's okay too. Like, don't worry about catching up. Like, there's always someone with a bigger, shinier roster who's done more.
I'll be doing Cavalier. I'm doing Cavalier difficulty with 565s, 5-star 565s. They're actually a bit better at the moment, but there might be others out there that have 200 signature. And I know, like, I've got friends who kind of like, I've got 200 signature rank 3 6-stars, and they're doing this. They're doing Cavalier difficulty. I wouldn't say quite easily, but it's just, there's a lot of kind of fundamentals.
But you have to spend a lot to get a high sig 6-star.
Yeah,
you have to be buying a lot of deals and a lot of Cavalier crystals. That it is very rare for that to happen. For a free to play player organically. Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, it just doesn't work like that. And to be honest, I know people get obsessed with the 6-star thing, but most 565 5-stars are stronger than their 6-star rank 2 counterparts. So you're not even really missing anything.
Yeah, this is why I think at the moment I'm quite content with my 5-stars. I'm growing my 5-star roster to a point where it's 565 and effective for Act 6. The biggest problem with Act 6 is having, if you draw like a comparison where I did first completion of Act 6.2, I did Act 6.2, just scrape through, and when I started to 100% it, I was using, what was I using? I was using like rank 3 5-star techs in gates to like get myself through gates,
just to get through the gate. That's brutal.
And then it's like it's just having then lead champions. Now it's a case that, and as I'm going to explain in content, or I have done over the weekend, is that the roster strength now is all about taking 565 techs through, so that, and because they're more diverse when the first time I did it, then I make the content easier. There's one thing I have alluded to in the previous content is overpower your champions to make content easier. And I know it's a bit of a, I don't know if people understand that. Some people are like, oh yeah, you need to 100% this and now, and it's like, well, do I? Oh yeah, but you need to play it in a certain way. Oh, you could have Suicide Mastery Zone, you could have this. It's like, well, look, I'm playing it my way, but my way's working. I got 565 that I can just go, look, I've got Warlock at 565 now. I've got Darkhawk at 565. I've got I just remember some of my texts. I've got a game open here. I should remember them. But the point I'm getting to is that I've ranked them up recently, and it's kind of giving me more of a stronger take on those paths with those champions. Because before it's like, okay, well, I've brought in 3 5-stars that I'm not entirely happy with, but I've just done it in order to open up the gate. So
yeah, and then it's a punishing experience when you do that.
Yeah.
When you basically know that they're throwaway champs.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to play perfect with whoever you're using as your main champ.
Exactly.
And that's really hard in Act 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
for most people, that's really, really hard.
Right, going back to like because this is going to be important now about the deals that might be seen. Now I've put on screen. I'll try and put a link to this in the bios and stuff to Frontline MCOC. There's always a link in there to Dan's Frontline MCOC.home.blog. But it just goes over some of the things from July 4th and where we will be up to. I don't know if I see a dramatic change from what's on screen, like the 6-star Summoner Bundle and Greater Rank Up Bundle and such like, unless Kabam feel that they want to kind of up the Cavalier one. If they did a Thronebreaker, where should we go with kind of the tier 5 class Catalyst? Where do you think that's going to go on the give back of percentage?
See, that's interesting because I thought you were really paying a premium for those tier 5 CC on 4th of July and the So it was 4th of July. If you bought the whole 15K, you got 2 random 10%, 1 random 15%, and 1 random 25%. So you would think that there's got to be at least a 50% in there. And either the 50%, or do we finally see a 6-star class awakening gem? Because that was not present. There was a generic 6-star rank up gem, 1 to 2 gem, which that's pretty sweet. I don't see any way that there's going to be a 2 to 3 6-star rank up gem. Like that would be insanity. If that's in there, that'd just be crazy. So probably some. I would say the Thronebreaker deal could focus more on 6-star signature stones than we saw in the past. So that could help some people. Maybe we get that 50% tier 5 CC in there, or maybe it's maybe some selectors. Maybe some of those 10% ones are selectors next time. Like that would help out a lot of people. So I'm trying to think. Like that seems to be the big stuff, right? The 6-star sig stones and the increasing in number to a significant number, and a 6-star awakening gem, which I'm assuming would be a class 1.
Yeah, that seems to kind of like to go right with this. I don't know about the extent of shards, especially for like Thronebreaker. Like I had this feeling that they'd go 1 fully formed if it's Thronebreaker. And then from the other stuff, I think they would, if this is all about Command pushing a narrative of increasing, not wealth, because it's not really, we can't really talk about wealth in game, but say wealth of rank 3 6-stars, then essentially they would give the ability to form 1 6-star, one 6-star to rank 3. Will they do gems? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's such a big item. When you think of all the resources that are technically wrapped up in a 2 to 3 6-star rank up gem, like it's kind of crazy. And I'm scrolling down, and I had forgotten that if you bought the 15K worth of deals, there was a 6K kicker for a 6-star awakening gem. So they did actually have a 6-star awakening gem available on 4th of July if you were willing to go to a total of 21,000 units.
Hot damn. That's a lot of units.
Yeah, they also had that 6-star Nexus bonus for 3,000 units, which I did pick up, which I thought was pretty good. So maybe you start seeing something like that 6-star Nexus floating into the Thronebreaker 10K deal, replacing some of those 6-star shards. We know people love those Nexus crystals.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, I'm on edge with it, to be honest. Like I mean, I looking at my kind of financial situation, I won't be able to spend at this time unless something dramatically happens in the next month. But this is a very, very kind of like interesting time for what those deals can like change in Thronebreaker to Cavalier and stuff like that. It's for sure.
I mean, this is the time to get an arena and grind out those units, because even if you're not spending money, if you have the units in your account, as Brian Grant always talks about, right? You have those units, you grind out arena, and you reinvest it in your roster, and you can make some real strides. And I keep saying this, but I know Cavalier players, they get excited about the 6-stars, but sometimes you could be trading like a random chance at a percentage of a rank 3 6-star for like 3 or 4 565 5-stars.
Yeah.
So you gotta weigh that out. Like there was I stuck with the 5 stars on 4th of July and really felt like I got a lot of value out of that.
Yeah, I think I had to put a point in saying I had to stop before I went a bit too far on the matter. But,
Yeah. Well, it's tough when you see people just like, oh, I got this many Odins and I'm opening this and I'm opening that, and like everyone's posting and opening, and like you forget like, oh, like they just spent $300 on that.
Yeah.
Like you're just seeing the fun part of it, not the not the money getting deleted out of their bank account.
Yeah.
So you gotta. I always say, when it comes to 4th of July and Christmas and Cyber Monday, set your budget before you know what the deals are.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because that if you wait until you see the deals, you're gonna start negotiating with yourself. Like say what your limit is. And it doesn't matter if something juicy is beyond your limit. You set a limit, so you gotta exhibit some self-control there, or that's when the buyer's regret comes into play when your 6-star Nexus is Diablo, Ebony Maw, and Superior Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of like, we'll keep on the topic of kind of like arena grinding, getting units and stuff. So one of the biggest things that I think this was changed just whilst we were recording, actually, the arena stuff. So
yes, as predicted, they made a change.
Yeah, I was saying, unfortunately, Cavalier difficulty seems to take up a little bit more time than I'd like, and it's not through kind of mistakes. I think so far the Cavalier difficulty this month I've spent 1 revive, and that was just because I couldn't be bothered. I think I was so deep into a quest, I thought, I can't be bothered to kind of sort this out.
Oh, I've done that, Rich.
I think it's like, I'm already kind of, what was it, like 25 minutes into doing one path, and I just had like one more champion to take down before going against boss. I think it was the Gwenpool one. I think I messed up on a fight, and I was like, this would just waste so much time, even for the chat. Like, if one path is taking 30 minutes a piece, and that is without suicide masteries, that is correct at the moment by that means.
Yeah.
It's just not great. I know Kabam Frenchy has said on Twitter that they do plan to make alterations to the time grind aspect, and this is like, unfortunately it's not always a case of going, okay, well, I must use my cosmic for cosmic grit. It's a case of going like, okay, well, what have I got available? Right, so I've got Hyperion. Yes, I'll use that against buffed up and cosmic grit, and I'll use Colossus, and I'll use whatever I've got at my disposal that gathers buffs, and I'll kind of like have 2-3 options, because I'm not a big fan of class disadvantage, and maybe the matchups don't work out. I'm not going to take. I'm gonna need, if it's a Morningstar on the path, and I'm not gonna use Hyperion against that Morningstar because of the bleed that would be coming back to me. So you have to think about these things practically, and it's just a case of like, right champions for the right things, and time sensitive. That time grind is important. You have to do a lot more lane scouting with Cavalier difficulty, and that's where a lot of the time goes. It's just, okay, I got to go fight by fight. Who's going to take it? Okay, yeah, which is kind of an Act 6 thing, which is fine, but it does add up when there's a bunch of paths. So I'm kind of with you on that. Like, I know I'm going to get it done, but it does cause me a little bit of angst. It's like, I feel like I should be further along, but it's that thing with Uncollected got so easy. It was just like, all right, what 5 do I have available? Let's go. Doesn't matter, because it didn't by the end. It didn't matter. I didn't have to wait. I could just even if War and Alliance Quest were tying up 11 champions. Yeah.
I still had another half dozen or so that were 565, and I could just throw them in and like, let's go.
And I've kind of I think it's my fault for derailing a little bit on that. But
no, we were going to talk about arena changes. Yeah, though. The change back, the rollback of the arena changes.
I think this is the thing of people not finding their infinite streak. It was weird because I know that it was a bit of a hoop-la-di-da with Kabam Mike going, we didn't intend for you to have something called an infinite streak, which is a bit of a problem, because you kind of think, if this was a problem for Kabam, you should have sorted this out about 4 years ago, or whenever Arena was becoming more, I don't know, systematic, not problematic. It became more of an algorithmic system of matchmaking and other stuff like that, or having that kind of point in which the matchmaker associates pairs your team with that which is a random generated Kabam team in order to soft you into the next step of. I don't really want to get too much into kind of guessing the system because I don't know the system.
Well, they kind of explained some of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, that basically, like, once you reach the infinite streak, like, there was no team hard enough for you to face based on the algorithm. So you, unless you got like a legit death match, right? Like you used a really say you used like 3 rank 2 5-stars. Once you had obtained your infinite streak, there was a team that was a legit death match that you could get like 3 rank 3 6-stars, and that would make sense. But like what was happening was you'd reach the infinite streak and you could put in your like 3 565s, and there's no team like hard enough at that point, so the algorithm would just like reset. So you would get an easy team because it couldn't give you a team hard enough because it didn't exist. So
like
that's what was happening. And then once they shrunk that matchmaking parameter, like you could get a team, and so it wasn't like a death match like before, but it was complicated by the fact that like people only rank 3 like really good 6-stars, like Dr. Doom and Domino and Clairvoyant. Like all these champions you kind of don't want to face with like rank 4 5-stars. Or rank 1, a rank 1 Yellow Jacket Joe Fixit and OG Daredevil 6-star.
So it all came to a head on the 10th of October as they decided that they were going to take the system, or the matchmaking, let's call it matchmaking system, back to the way it was. And then it's a case of like, I don't know if they'll try again to kind of like improve it. I guess if it's a case now that players enjoy it under the changes that it is now, but with the old system of of matchmaking. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, sorry. If it's broke, don't fix it. Oh God, what am I? I don't even know.
if we like how broken it is, should they fix it? Yeah,
exactly.
Well, then I think what they want to do is make it so that someone who doesn't know to type in how to get an infinite streak into Google, that they can still get an infinite streak. I think that's what they want.
Yeah. Many people have asked about that as a guide, and I can't really produce it because it's like I've still got old ones up on the channel which I'll have to delete down the line, but they make no sense about the case of point of changes, as that probably references what is back in the day the highest you would ever get is like a rank 4 5-star. Now you get rank 5 5-stars, you get 6 stars, rank 1, 2, and 3. So everything's kind of like all jumbled up, and there's no clear-cut way. I'm not to say that Kabam should come up with a clear-cut way to do it, but it's a difficult one for the point of who gets pleased here. At the end of the day, we're the customers, and we should be pleased. But at the same time, if Kabam have such a trouble with making it happen, do they do more damage to us, them, and the game by rolling out any future changes? So I guess a lot of this stuff has to be played with carefully, especially from an algorithmic point of view.
Yeah, for sure. Because like you were saying, like that's pretty much, you're pretty much describing what happened last week, right? Like people wanted the more aggressive AI. They want the rewards update. I think they were. I don't know. There's always complaints about death matches, but those conversations usually go back and forth with like, you should know better, or you shouldn't know. It's like that's always a little bit trickier. I think a lot of things that were death matches wouldn't have been death matches if Kingpin would just throw his special
Yeah.
You know, which is usually my frustration with it. You usually get to like about like, you know, fight 14 or 15. You're like, okay, like if this dude doesn't throw his special, there's no way I can kill him before a special 3.
Yep.
And that's why it's a death match. Not that I can't beat the champion. I just can't beat them if they refuse to throw a special before they get to a special 3. So it's like a lot of times I would be like, okay, I'm going to save Magic for, you know, fight 14 or Psylocke for fight 15 or Doctor Doom. It's like just to have like that power drain there.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's I think that's definitely covered a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about in Marvel Contest of Champions, because the thing is there's not been anything huge. A few things from like I don't know. I don't want to kind of go back to like false hype stuff, because that's the thing. We did have a lot of kind of stuff with Cosmic Ghost Rider and a little bit with the Sasquatch thing. I don't know really what's going on with that. They changed the ruptures, the debuff damage, and then twisted it back again. But it wasn't. The first time was too high. But yeah, I think that might have come.
So it sounds like that was like a Cull Obsidian.
Yeah.
Scenario where he was bugged, but the bug caused him to do more damage. So then they just fixed the bug. But if you say you acquired him while he was bugged and you didn't know he was bugged, you thought you had something you didn't.
Yeah.
So I can understand that, and that's not in the bug fix notes for this version either, which is kind of weird that they would do something like that and not include it in the bug notes.
Yeah, there's I don't say they haven't forgot that, but it's definitely something to kind of make sure you're keeping players up to date with that info, just so there's not any discrepancies or overreaction and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's important stuff, because I mean, I think Sasquatch is still a really good champion. I love testing him. If I can get him from this featured crystal, which I hope I do, I will definitely rank him up. I think he was doing really good damage before when we were testing him, and he was not bugged on release. So, you know, I don't know. It's a tricky thing, because like I said, like if you just acquired him while he was bugged, how are you supposed to know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what, you know, have we presented in videos more like info to go, he's great based on ruptures. I think I was doing a lot of damage with ruptures, and then what the finish article was. And that's the thing, like I don't like hyping something that's going to be changed, and that's something I don't know if it got the same Cosmic Ghost Rider treatment very early on, or I don't get why they didn't know. To be honest, it's the same thing like I'm experiencing with YouTube, and how they've kind of said like, oh, you were doing well for a while, but now we're going to say that you're not. It's like, what? You can turn it on and off like that? I mean, the difference is I don't know. There's no difference here. It's just based on stats and stuff. But that's another story for another thing. Right, let's move on to Marvel Realms. So we've talked about 43 minutes, nearly a quarter of an hour on MCOC related stuff. We're going to move on now to Marvel Realm. It's been nice to kind of focus on the Rich's Realm channel a bit more. And as well, like a lot of the stuff that's been going out. I mean, I don't know how much of a future I have kind of like doing stuff, because I had available time. I have available time at the moment, but I don't know how much more available time I might have to kind of grow this channel as well as the main channel. But, you know, again, another story for another day, maybe another video on the matter. But yeah, it looks like the game has started getting a bit of momentum, a bit of new stuff. We had the new update, adding in things like synergies and improved stats observations. Today, as in recording this on Friday, it's the game's out on beta to Canada, which is great. It's I'm not gonna say
hopefully we can get some more people in the pool, because the matchmaking has been super dry for the last week. It's hard to get a match right now. I know you were streaming before this. I was sitting in on the chat, and I was trying to I wasn't playing on your team. I was just trying to get some randoms in, and it was taking a while. Like sometimes you get a match really, really quick, but it seems like the last week it has been really hard to get a match.
Yeah, I don't really want to go up against the same people. The biggest issue with doing that is that when you want to work on a specific champion, and you're like, what were we? We're a team of like 3 champions, various ratings, say 500. I want to say we had a 500, a 600, and another 500. But we were going up against like 700, 700. Was it 700 and 2 600s for battle rating? Oh, that's kind of like irrelevant really, because I don't think it's really labelled on that. But if we're looking at champions, we're going up against 3 champions that would have been furthest rank, maybe 220s coming into early rank 3. So it was definitely we're going up against a rank 3. So that's really the problem of fighting off against them. And not to say it's completely impossible to win that particular fight.
Right, yeah, you're just outgunned.
We're just outgunned.
It doesn't matter how smart you play. You're not winning a game there.
Exactly.
This has been a pretty big update, and you touched on it. One thing right there is you can now get a rank 3 champion, which is pretty cool. I was terrified when I first logged in with version 0.3 because my champion's PI was significantly reduced.
Yes.
Like they've clearly changed the formula there. I was like, they nerfed my Storm. Where's my 1100 PI Storm? So that was a little nerve wracking. They added in some synergies for gear, some new weapons. Still no Hulk, still no Super Soldier, but a big step forward with this update.
Yeah, it's amazing to know that we're kind of like we're getting close, but there are fundamental issues that do need to be addressed by this. It's not kind of like a completely a kind of like system of we're good to go. There's just that little bits of kind of, I'm actually funny enough. I just like come on. I've been invited by Spider X to kind of like to do a party. I would kind of like say to him, sorry mate, I'm a bit busy just recording the podcast and kind of using this on screen as reference. But yeah, Spider X just shot over an invite. But that's the thing, isn't it? It's good to see we've still got like a loyal amount of players just like grinding out, and that's amazing. But,
they just need some more. This is great. I'm excited that they've added Canada in. Yeah. I think it's great for us because it's going to add a lot more people into the pool. And of course, with the game originally just being in the Philippines, well, the Philippines are 12 hours time difference.
Yeah.
For me, so if like I'm like my usual time to play was like 7:30 to 8:30 at night. Well, that's 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. in the Philippines. Probably not like prime gaming time.
Yeah,
true. Especially for something that's still in beta, right? So, that's the thing, is having some people like actually available to play in my time zone is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to like make more of an effort, I think, to play later on in the evening rather than or kind of like more kind of amenable times to kind of like you guys and in that time zone. As I'm just not getting a lot of matchups, and it needs to be a case I go later in order to kind of like flex my not flex. It's not flex. It's just that flex my muscles, so to speak, and get testing, because I need to kind of like test myself out and kind of I need to get more conquest, like getting out of it. Just I get a bit rusty.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. Like I know we've complained about matchmaking for a few weeks, but we don't actually have any data that says matchmaking is broken so much as like there's no one to matchmake with. That's appropriate, right? Like you either get bots. It's like, oh look, it's Kaboom again. With Kaboom is one of like the one of the Hulk one of the Hulk AIs that you'll see a lot. So there's like Kaboom, and then there's Ben Riley's one of the Spider-Man one. And there's like an Iron Man one that's, isn't it like shiny something?
Yeah. Shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads. That's it. Yeah, shoulder pads.
Crumple's my favorite. I like
Crumple. Oh, yes, Crumple's another one of the Hulks, and I think Agatha is one of the Sorcerer Supremes.
Yeah, there's a few kind of like just funky names there. I think we've had a few we fought against a few bot ones today, but it was just. I just need Arena Conquest.
It's not as much fun. It's a lot more fun when it's 3 people versus 3 people, and you can start to see the complexity of the game unfold. It's a lot more gratifying.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've got anything else to talk about. What champions are you looking to work on at the moment?
Well, now that it's possible to rank 3 a champion, I am playing a little bit more Storm now, because I was kind of resting her because she had gone as far as she could go. But now there's reason to play Storm again, and but mostly Web Warrior, still Web Warrior, slow but steady. Almost got him to a 300 battle rating.
Nice.
Which is, not a ton, but that's a big cutoff for crystals. So
yes, that's true.
And once I get over there, then I can start getting some of that 3-star gear. That's really going to help push him. So yeah, I really like the ranged champions in this game. So I'm hoping that when Thor comes out, there is a ranged element to his kit. Obviously, we think of Thor as a bit of a brawler, but that hammer, he does throw it. It's a ranged weapon. He's got lightning. Like, if there's some ranged specials, I think that could be really, really cool. So maybe there's like a brawler Thor that's one weapon and more of like a ranged Thor that's a different weapon. We'll have to see what they do with that champion. But I know you're super excited about the Asgardians. So hopefully they are a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got this feeling about this double wielding weapon, and it's like it's all on attack. I don't know if it might be a tank. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah, it could be. There's a lot of ways to go with it based on what version of Thor they want to let us build.
Yeah. Okay. What are you working on this week for Frontline MCOC?
The big one is finishing my Variant 5 guides. I'll probably complete the 6th and final quest this weekend. I've released the first 5 guides, so it's going to be great to have all 6 complete and up on the site. And then after that, really getting back into Frontline Junior, which has Frontline Junior, the account has just reached Act 3. But I'm probably about 12 guides behind. I think I've got all of 2.2 and 2.3 and 2.4 to write those guides. It does take a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really kind of enjoying that. Playing a lot of Mojo, a lot of Emma Frost, and a lot of Captain America: Infinity War.
Nice.
On that account, which is great because I haven't really played Emma and Cap Infinity War much on my main account. So I just pulled a 4-star blade, and I was just like, I am not ranking you up at all. Because I can't go through Act 4 and Act 5 again with blade. Like there's just no point to that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's a great pull, though. It's an awesome pull. But it's just like, no, I'd been there, done that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing next week. It's a bit of a scary time. I've got a detailed email to write now to my YouTube rep about subject, and it's a weird one. I've never been in limbo quite so much that I don't know if I'm giving up not giving up. I've been kind of like forced out of my full-time YouTubing career, just out of nothing for literally no reason.
Yeah.
So I'm in a very weird situation. Like, it's constantly picking yourself up and saying, look, carry on, I guess. I mean, I'm technically not making any money from videos still, because I've got 10 days before, YouTube have to respond and not have to respond. They have to kind of like, I don't know, the word is kind of pay. Sorry, they've got to, that's when the pay week is for AdSense. So could be a case I'll start looking for a job right around my birthday. So that's a nice birthday present. Losing your job. So we'll have to see. Like as I said, I'll try and keep as positive as possible about it. But it's very difficult to kind of like go and tell yourself everything's fine when it's not.
Right. Yeah, and you don't have, it's not like you can just knock on the boss's door and be like, "Hey, let's talk about this."
Yeah. And yeah, if anything like does come to like worse, I will make a bit of a stink about it on my way out because it's not cool to be treated the way I have been because no one else has been treated similar. They don't treat PewDiePie like this. They don't treat anyone else, and there's a lot worse people on this platform than me. And I mean, I follow all the rules. I behave myself as much as possible. But anyway, I'm not going to end on that point. I'm just going to say, get grinding in game. Look forward to things like Cyber Weekend. Get that next titleage. Get on the grind and have a lovely week next week. And we look forward to welcoming you for episode 39. We're getting close to the big 4-0. So we shall see you then. Thanks for listening and see you all soon. Bye bye.